Hey guys, George here from the F1 Chronicle, and I'm looking at the support series this weekend around Barcelona. So let's go with Formula 3 for this video, and I'm bringing you 5 things that we learned from the F3 weekend here in Spain. And the first thing that I want to highlight from the first race, obviously, there being 2 races in a weekend for Formula 3, a race on a Saturday and a race on a Sunday as well. The first thing I want to highlight, and Trident will not thank me for highlighting this, is that they absolutely imploded this weekend. Megatunif and Ramos were fighting for the lead of race 1. Megatunif tried to go down the outside, kind of backed out and then kind of went for it again. But Ramos closed the door, didn't allow him any space. Megatunif went onto the grass, spun out, hit them both. They both got damaged. I think Megatunif ended up going out of the race, and Ramos ended up getting a puncture or damage and basically dropped down through the field. So another Trident implosion. They seem to really qualify well, especially for the first race of the weekend. But something always seems to go wrong. They seem to be in an insurmountable position, but somehow seem to mess it up. And they've done it again. And that all left the door open for the second thing I want to talk about. Mari Boyer winning his home race. Excellent job. Didn't look troubled at all after Trident took themselves out of the race. And I've also got to mention as well, I mean, it's kind of a double on this, but I've got to mention Arvid Lindblad as well, because what a performance it was from him in race 2. I think he won by like 7-8 seconds, something like that. He was absolutely dominant. And even when the rain started to come down towards the end of race 2, he had no trouble in adapting to those conditions. So he is an F-Race Feature Race winner. At the age of 16, 17, he is super young. He's definitely one to watch for the future, for sure. And the third thing as well, in terms of milestones I want to mention, is Alex Dunn. He managed to get the first podium ever for a Formula 3 Irish driver in the series. First win of this kind of level probably since Eddie Irvine was coming through. So he's a talent. He's definitely one to watch out for. And if you're a fan of Irish motorsport, that is definitely positive for you, because they don't really have too many motorsport drivers in circuit racing. It's quite rare to see them. So it's good to see Dunn doing well there. But we've gone from some big highs. Now let's go for a huge low. And Gabriele Mini, the championship leader coming into this round. He is not the championship leader anymore. You'll not be surprised to hear, given the fact he scored no points throughout this entire weekend. The Italian driver got altercated in an incident in race 1. Whose fault it was, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about this, and I'd personally put it down to a racing incident. But basically, he made contact with someone. He was out of the race. So that's pretty bad. But it just went from bad to worse in the second race, because he had no pace whatsoever. He didn't start that far up the field, but he absolutely dropped through it like a lead balloon. I lost track of where he actually finished, but the last time I looked at him, he was all the way down in P17, so well out of the points and out of contention. And that has all meant that the fifth thing that we learned is that it's none other than Fornaroli, who is top of the standings now. Now, it seemed like it was going to be Luke Browning for the longest part. He was up in third, and he was looking pretty solid for it. But his tyres went off in the last stages of race 2 and dropped down the field. He dropped down to P5 by the finish. And Fornaroli, being one of those drivers to overtake him, allowed Fornaroli to get up to the top of the standings. He was out of the cockpit and celebrated on his lap into the pits. Browning, though, to be fair, Browning is still in P2. It's still been a decent weekend for him, but he could have easily been the championship lead. And Mini had a shocker. He is down in P3 in the championship and will definitely need to improve next weekend in Austria. But yeah, guys, those are 5 things that we learned from the F3 weekend. What did you think about this weekend's events? I think they were incredible, and I really struggled to narrow it down to 3. I've kind of used 6, really, for being honest here, with that double one for the winners. But you can't go for one of these reviews without at least mentioning who won the race. I mean, it's kind of important. So yeah, there we go. Austria in a week's time. We'll be here to cover it, and we'll also be covering the other support series as well, like F1 Academy and Formula 2, and of course the Big Daddy itself, Formula 1, that'll be on later today. So yeah, keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com for much more video content just like this.